Welcome to Fèis Friday. We are here bright and early, although not particularly bright, as you can see from our attire, at Bunnahabhain distillery. Very excited to try their several Fèis releases this year. Ross, Bunnahabhain is a favourite of yours?
I think we look great, by the way.
We do. I can't tell if I've talked to you or the bollard. I keep getting mixed up.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. We're going to be upstairs in Warehouse 9 today as well.
Yep.
So a special day, Fèis Friday, and as you can see, we're fully committed to this Fèis research that the Bevvy are doing.
Scotland at the end of May. You can't beat it, really.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Really good. So stay tuned. It's going to be a really, really great day.
Let's get inside.
Right, it is Fèis Friday, and we are delighted to be here in warehouse number 9 at Bunnahabhain Distillery on the island of Islay. Ross, obviously with me as always.
Yeah. Never been upstairs in warehouse number 9 before.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, any warehouse is stunning.
We've talked about it so much. Being in a dusty old whiskey warehouse is the best place to drink whiskey, and this is probably a distillery, truthfully, although it's been a while since I've been here, this is the whiskey that I've drank the most of from Islay.
Okay.
As you know, I'm not necessarily always a heavily peated whiskey fan. Fortunately, we're going to be guided today by our resident expert, Katie. So thanks for joining us again on the channel, Katie.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
How's things at Bunnahabhain? How do you feel about Fèis this year?
Oh, I think we're very, very excited and thrilled. So
I think from turning up this morning, everything seems very well. I've got to say the word coordinated. I would say.
Thank you very much.
Which leads us nicely onto your promotion since you're last on our channel last year.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
You've gone to the dizzying heights of coordinator.
Yes.
Has that been an interesting change for you? Is there
It's been a really fun change. You know, taking on kind of more responsibility has been really, really fun. Love this place. So it's been excited just working on Fèis. So
You've got 4 whiskies that have come out this year. We're going to try 2 of the releases today.
Yes.
So tell us about maybe the whiskies that we're not trying today. Well, we've actually got a bottle that we've reserved to pick up one today because it is Bunnahabhain Day. Tell us about that one.
So we've got the lovely 27-year-old Muscatel finish, which is our day release this year, which is really, really nice.
Great.
So finished in Muscatel sherry. And it is just,
limited to just a couple of hundred bottles. I mean, whiskies of that age, you can't really get hold of it.
I think there's something about you're coming over for the festival and picking up that bottle you can only get at the distillery on the day. Like, that's quite magic. So I'm sure that'll be, we can't wait to tuck into that afterwards.
And it's a smart way of doing it as well, because a lot of people don't like, the queues and it's like sort of hysterical fighting for a limited release. But the fact that it's, you've got it reserved, you can enjoy a few drams, enjoy the view from the pier and collect it at your leisure. For me, that's a smart way of doing it. So that's that one. And then the third, the other one.
Yes, that was our triple cask, triple sherry. So obviously Bunnahabhain's all about the sherry. So it's that one is divine as well.
And obviously we're trying a couple of special releases today, but general house style is that kind of bigger, more full-bodied, rich style. What are we going to taste today?
Well, we are going to taste 2 whiskies that have not been aged in sherry casks.
Okay.
So I thought that would be a bit interesting today. So
the first one we're going to go for today?
The first one will be our 14-year-old Ruby Port.
Excellent.
So something a bit different, but really, really nice.
I think it's one of those things, port casks and sherry casks can have a bit of overlap instead of character
kind of
as
big
well.
and fruity and maybe a little bit of spice and obviously sometimes a nice dark colour if it's been aged for a long time, but it's
similar kind of profile, but just a little bit different because it is Fèis and it is a big.
It's special, right?
It is special.
14 years old, bottled 58.7%. Let's get our glasses. We'll let you do the honours and pour this one.
Yeah, no worries.
I know it is always a treat.
Excited.
I know trying something new at the place where it's made. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers. So, approach the nose straight away. It's really, really big.
It's like leathery, isn't it? It's really loads going on.
And again, there is a lot of those associated notes that you expect with a sherry matured expression from the distillery.
The strength rank was
58.7.
Does not smell hot
I
at all.
agree, very little alcohol prickle. What do you get on the nose for this one, Katie?
berries.
Yeah.
I ate berries.
It's quite a unique thing that you're probably the only distillery that will often say on the distillery bottlings, berries. Yeah. I remember first coming across your official 25-year-old that says berries. It's like juicy berries. Yeah. And I kind of get what you're meaning. It's really inviting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a nice sort of summertime nose as well. Obviously, Fèis at the end of May. Yeah. Typically, very, very sunny. So it's, you know, when this was getting planned, it makes sense to have something that's quite, you know, quite fun and fruity.
Well, let's have a little taste. Thanks for taking us away from the madness and what, you know, we really appreciate it.
So, yeah.
Cheers.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Slange. I really, really do like the nose. Laurie, what do you think? Is there a nice texture there? I think what I'm looking for as well.
Oh, mouthfeel is lovely. Yeah. I think it's got a reassuring strength to it, which then comes through on the palate and the finish. Yeah. Lets it sort of stay with you, keeps that flavour lingering, but beautifully rounded, I think. I think for anybody who loves that classic Bunnahabhain style that often has that sherry influence, it's all here with that slight
probably like a lovely
twist.
kind of syrupy sweetness to
it
that
100%.
I love. Almost like a kind of a Pedro Jimenez.
Yeah, it does have a sherry influence.
Yeah, so but it was aged in bourbon first and then finished in and there was lovely ruby port.
Sure. Do we know the length of time it was in the port or just kind of
3 years?
3 years.
Oh, yeah, so a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's such an indulgent palate. As a whiskey, it makes me really happy, to be honest. It's mouth coating. It's quite unapologetic. You do get that kind of little bit of alcohol prickle towards the end, but it's so sweet initially. It's what I would expect when I'm trying something from the distillery. And this is probably the reason why I love this distillery.
I think the quality of the spirit shines through. I think a lot of people concern, I suppose, with a cask influence as strong, as distinctive as port, is that you lose that distillery flavour. But it's still, the quality of spirit is still evident.
Would you feel inclined to add a little bit of water to this?
I think it's great as it is. Yeah. Personally.
I add water to most things.
You do. Maybe I've got something wrong with it, but I think it doesn't feel too kind of brutish. It doesn't feel out of control at the strength.
It's a generous
strength. I really like the kind of lingering spice that you get. It's like slowly.
It's lovely and warming, actually, particularly in a slightly chilly warehouse. It goes down beautifully.
And beautiful colour to it as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to add a little bit of water to mine. I'm going to add it in. You know, I'll be a bit more liberal with mine. I'll let you do your own because you'll say that I have a little bit of whiskey in my water.
There we go.
And just, more of a kind of soft fudge and toffee opens up. We've got that additional water.
Just do a drop.
There is a kind of juicy cherry berry. Yeah. Maybe slight acidity in the nose now as well for the additional water.
Cherries and dark chocolate is what I'm getting.
It's so indulgent.
Yeah, but just like lovely and rich and juicy. I love it. Just with that lovely kind of lingering spice.
It's great to try a special release. It's using something different from your traditional style, but it's also so distillery DNA. Yeah. It's so distillery character. Yeah. Water just takes away that burn. It's a little bit softer. I think you might miss it.
Maybe I put in a wee bit too much. For me, complexion changes quite a lot. I think I prefer it as it is. I think that portiness is a bit more sort of intense and a bit more obvious. But obviously, whiskey's meant to be drunk the way you enjoyed it, and it's beautiful with water.
It shows. It kind of shows how good the whiskey is for adapting. We both tried them. I loved it neat, prefer it with water. You loved it neat, tried it with water, prefer it with water. What a pleasure to share it with you. So
I know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy Fèis Friday.
Happy Fèis Friday.
Cheers.
Another great dram. Cheers. Lunch. What do you have lined up for us this time?
I've got a peated whiskey. So it's our peated release this year, so our Monya Madeira.
Wow.
Okay, so it's one of those things we've discussed previously. I love Bunnahabhain's kind of classic traditional core range style, the unpeated style. This will be an interesting challenge for me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still in my pre-season for heavily peated stuff. Right. But 19 years old, so the peat could have dissipated slightly. And Madeira cask, so there's going to be a lovely sweetness to it as well. Yes. Let's have a little look at the bottle. And we'll,
of course.
The 19-year, cask strength as well, this one?
It's a nominated strength.
Okay, so reduced 51.2%.
Full cask strength can be, I don't know, I think for somebody like myself that's often a bit too lazy to add water, you just end up drinking it as it is and you end up waking up in a ditch the next day.
And I suppose that this is a drinkable strength as well. When we see 51%, we go, it's going to have a bit extra body, it's generous, so they're still giving us that kind of authentic character, with fatty acids, non-chill filtered, etc., etc. But it should be drinkable, and the nose is wow. Okay, we'll wait till you get a little bit.
I know, yeah. I know, somebody's stolen our little table, so we're having to make do.
So you've had this expression previously?
Yes.
And so if you could kind of guide me through it, that I would be very grateful, Katie. So Monja, generally, you do have a core range Monja, but also you do a lot of special releases with it?
Yeah, so Monja is the word that we would use to describe our peaty whiskies. So it's just Gaelic for peat.
Sure.
And so it's peated to about 40 parts per million, which...
It's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot, but it is Bunnahabhain. It's never, I mean, you're never going to get punched in the face. It's more of an aftertaste, although I have to admit, I'm getting a lot of TCP off of this one.
Oh, yeah?
It's quite medicinal. It's
ashy and...
Quite medicinal for me.
It's certainly, I would never guess it as a Bunnahabhain, to my experience.
It's something a little bit different, but, you know, again, it is Fèis, so we get to
That's what
experiment
it's all about,
a little
right?
bit. So,
yeah. Okay, let's have a go.
Yeah, it's a big nose. Very excited to try this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And thanks for hosting us.
Thanks.
We really appreciate it.
I hope you enjoy this one.
Yeah, the nose is quite big for me. Quite intimidating.
It's all ashtrays and, which is for some people, is awful. For other people, amazing.
I think this is we're here during the festival. This is Fèis Friday. I think people associate coming to the festival a lot of the time for peated whiskey.
Yeah.
So it's great that even though you can sometimes be seen as slightly more, well, modern in the way that it's less traditional Islay, this is that kind of, this is what the island's known for. This is going to be that little bit of island DNA with the Bunnahabhain DNA.
It's also a case of providing styles of whiskey that everybody can enjoy.
Exactly.
And we see that, you know, even Speyside single malts often do a peated expression. You know, other regions might do triple distilled just for fun. So it's having that flexibility is amazing.
Nice though, because obviously we don't specialise in peated whiskey, but when we do release a peated whiskey,
I mean, you're bloody good at it.
It's really special. We've also got a fill your own experience today, which is the most heavily peated Bunnahabhain we've ever released.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
70 parts per million.
Gee, wow.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't want to push it too far.
Something even more peated.
That's interesting. Yeah. The palate actually initially is very sweet.
Yeah.
It might be that Madeira influence, I suppose, which we are seeing more use in Scotch whisky.
Yeah.
So really sweet initially, but the palate, in the back of the palate towards the finish, is a bellowing smoke. Absolutely. It really is quite ashy. As you said, a little bit medicinal. Isn't that kind of medicinal?
Turned into Sean Connery for a second.
It's almost that kind of like the Freud Ardbeg level. Like it's...
Yeah. Like, I know it sounds a bit weird, but for me it almost tastes like a burnt pancake with maple syrup drizzled onto it.
I don't taste like that. I don't like.
So it was initially aged in bourbon and then finished in those Madeira casks for the past 7 years. So
7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a length. I mean,
double maturation.
I was going to say, what stage does a finish become a secondary maturation?
Again, the colour is great, obviously coming from the Madeira. I mean,
I think it's just got a real balance to it and sort of finesse to it, which I think is hard to replicate without aging for 15 plus years.
I love a peated Bunnahabhain. I just think it's so good.
I think this is an incredibly complex dram. I think you can spend a lot of time with it. And actually, I think the nose, the palate, and the finish are all a little bit different. It's really interesting, and I've got to say, it's much more approachable for me than I thought it was going to be. I think that Madeira's really made me a friend of this. This
I think this week, obviously visiting all these different distilleries in Islay, we've tried a lot of big smoky whiskies and been to a lot of kind of powerhouses that have specialised in peated whiskey for years. So you're Lagavulins and Ardbegs. This, for a distillery that you say doesn't specialise in peated whiskey and you're just mucking about, this holds its own against anything. It's
an exceptional release and feel very lucky to try it with you. So thank you very much. And
you're very welcome.
Let's get back out and enjoy Fèis Friday.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Beautiful dram. Thank you so much. Right, that wraps things up. Those drams are stunning. It's warmed us up nicely. Ponchos are off. 2 great drams from Bunnahabhain as always.
Yeah, delighted. Trying something new from the distillery and then also something that just reminds me of why I love the distillery. Yeah. But we're busy, so now we're going to go over to Jura.
Hop across the water. Jura next up, so stay tuned. And if you're enjoying it so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're having a blast, so stay tuned.